Hello, everyone. I am Vanessa Timmer, and I'm also a board member of the National Zero Waste Council, and I'm a co-founder and executive director of a nonprofit here in Vancouver called One Earth, and I'm delighted to be the moderator today. So now, our speakers are going to help us think about collaborating across sectors for these innovative solutions around waste management. And so it's my great pleasure to welcome our international guest, Jacob Simonsen, who's the managing director of the Danish Waste Association. And that association is really responsible for bringing together municipalities, intermunicipal waste management companies, facilities for hazardous waste. They have over 50 members, and they serve 5.6 million people in Denmark. So join me in welcoming Jacob. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I put myself to the tasks to try to explain to you 5 critical success factors of why we are doing pretty well in Denmark regarding waste management. So let's go. One, we introduced a landfill ban on waste that is organic, waste that is recyclable, and waste that can be utilized for energy purposes. We introduced this landfill ban back in 1992. That has actually decreased our levels of waste going to landfill dramatically. We came from a place where between 50 to 60% that went to landfill, and today we only landfill about 3 to 4% of municipal waste. So that has been a real driving force towards diverting waste from landfills. Together with the landfill ban, we also introduced a landfill tax, and that is important when we talk about waste, because waste is you choose the waste option that is least expensive. So if you want to move in some direction, you need to make the direction that you want to move in less expensive than where you came from. And waste that goes to landfill is basically very cheap. So if you want to divert waste from landfills, you need to make it more expensive. So we introduced a tax on landfilling. So that is the first point. Second point is that we have flow control in Denmark. The municipalities were given the task of making a good, solid waste management system, but they were also given the instruments to do so. And one very critical instrument is flow control, because when the municipalities have flow control, they also have the basis and to do sound investments in waste management. And some of these investments are very big. If you have to invest in either a landfill, waste-to-energy plant, sorting plant, or whatever, it is millions of Danish kroners, millions of dollars that you have to invest. And if you have to do that, you have to have a security that your investment will not go down the drain. And that will flow control do for you. So that is critical success factor number 2. The third one is very widespread district heating systems. And you think, what has this got to do with it? But in Denmark, it is nice and cold in the winter. We need a lot of heat. So we are trying to, what would you call it, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. We're working to enhance a better waste management system, and we're also, on the other hand, trying to do the same with thinking about how can we deliver heat, how can we do good within the energy sector. So just to give you an idea, the district heating system in Denmark is very widespread. This integrated thinking has rolled out the district heating for more than 2/3 of the Danish population. That is to say that 3.2 million households are today actually connected to the district heating grid. That's a lot. And we have more than 60,000 kilometers of district heating pipelines in Denmark. And that is a critical success factor, because if you want to make heat from the waste that you cannot recycle and reuse, we only take the residual waste and try to utilize the resources in that. Then you can get an income from selling the heat. We actually only cooled 1.4% of all our energy production away last year, and that's nearly nothing. So, of course, this will create a big income for us, which actually will lower the fee for waste. Because, and that's the fourth critical success factor, is that we have a non-profit system. So if we have some money coming in, it will go to lower the fees. And if we have lower fees for waste management, then it is optionally better to do the right thing than it is to do the wrong thing. So a non-profit system is a key. Last but not least, we have set up intermunicipal companies, which are very strong. Of course, it gives both that things can be getting done across jurisdictions, but it also provides the organizational muscle to get things done. And these are, I think, 5 of the very critical success factors of why we have a good waste management system in Denmark, and some of the factors that I think that you're also looking into in Vancouver. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob. So next we have Will Burroughs. He's the Executive Director for the Coast Waste Management Association. And this is a membership association on the BC coast that looks at solid waste and recycling. And Will's waste and recycling career actually started 20 years ago. He was a project manager for the largest metal recycler on Vancouver Island. And in 2007, he became the Executive Director for the Coast Waste Management Association. So welcome, Will. Thank you so much for joining us.
CWMA is a network for anyone who is involved in waste and recycling in BC. If you're a stakeholder, then you need to belong to CWMA. Our mission is to foster environmental leadership and best practices by providing a forum for discussion, for education, and for networking. Now, we've been in existence since 1996, and back in 1995, the BC Ministry of Environment asked that regional governments develop solid waste management plans. And what this did was make them take a good hard look at what it was they were doing, how they were managing their waste and recyclables, and how they could perhaps improve on that. Now, the founding partners of CWMA recognized 2 opportunities or 2 challenges that were somewhat unique. One, we had this moat going all the way around us, and there was a cost involved to get materials off the island to market or to be processed. And secondly, that the collection, processing, and marketing of waste involved an array of diverse organizations. So it involved governments at local, at regional, at provincial, at federal level. It involved non-profit organizations who were managing depots and also managing extended producer responsibility programs, as well as the private industry were players as well. So maybe the small mom and pop companies that were picking up the recyclables and the garbage in your area, right up to the large companies, the multinationals like Waste Management and Progressive Waste. So the solution they came up with was to form the Coast Waste Management Association, a member organization that was inclusive and had board representation from all of the other sectors, all the people that were involved in handling waste. We're a registered non-profit society. We have about 150 member organizations, predominantly located in coastal BC, but there are members from the United States and from across Canada as well. They include local, provincial, regional, First Nations, and federal government. They include for-profit companies, so the waste haulers and processors, many of which you work for or are familiar with. They include the non-profit organizations, so right from the small volunteer staff-run depot operations on some of the Gulf Islands, up to the large corporations, the Multi-Material BC and the Encore Pacific, who manage some of our EPR programs. And we also include other membership organizations, RCBC, the Recycling Council of Alberta, Ontario Waste Management Association, as well as suppliers and others, consultants to the industry. So what is it we do? Well, we keep our members up to date on initiatives and information and news that's going to impact them. Maybe a stewardship plan, or workplace safety, or environmental regulations. We host regular networking sessions where we invite speakers in to come and talk about and debate items that are of interest to our membership. We also host an annual conference each October on Vancouver Island. It's the 21st to 23rd of 2015. And at that event, we have roundtables for discussion with First Nations, with depot operators, with product stewardship agencies, and with local government. Thanks. So some of the successes we've had can be seen, we helped some of the First Nations that are only accessible by water in coastal BC become involved and work with the stewardship organizations, and so they could participate in the EPR programs in BC. We had 3 member regional governments who worked on a tri-regional study to see where there are efficiencies that could be had by working cooperatively and collaboratively together. I think communities are very passionate about their waste and recycling and how it's managed. And I think it requires the collaboration of everyone involved in the value chain to participate in the development of a successful system. Thanks, Vanessa.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you, Will. And now we've got Andrew Marr. He's the Director of Solid Waste Planning at Metro Vancouver. And he's been with Metro Vancouver focused on solid waste planning over these many years and did a little bit of work as well in liquid waste and other parts of Metro Vancouver's organization. In addition to doing solid waste planning in Metro Vancouver, Andrew also teaches at BC Institute of Technology, and he looks with students at waste reduction and recycling technology. So welcome to Andrew.
Thank you. As Vanessa mentioned, I have been with Metro Vancouver for 24 years, and when I first started, the overall recycling rate for the Metro Vancouver region was about 30%. It's currently just over 60%, and of course we do have a goal of 70% and another one of 80%. Collaboration is absolutely a fundamental way in which we've gotten as far as we have, and in fact it's right at the heart of what Metro Vancouver is and does. Metro Vancouver provides utility services, this is our core mandate, provides utility services on behalf of about 24 member municipalities. And the reason we do that is because it's more efficient for an umbrella organization like Metro Vancouver to do it than have 24 member municipalities each do it on their own. That's an enormous collaborative task, and just like a family with 24 children, not everybody gets along and not everyone agrees on everything. But miraculously, we've done things like got unanimous agreement on an integrated solid waste plan for the region, which includes many initiatives and has as its first goal the reduction and prevention of waste. Probably the very best example of the kind of collaboration that we've done for waste prevention and reduction is the National Zero Waste Council, which you've heard Director Brody and Vanessa speak about already. But so people can appreciate exactly how significant a collaborative effort that is. Bear in mind that this is a Canada-wide council made up of local governments, senior governments, industry, which includes manufacturers and retailers and industry associations, and also waste management companies and processors, and non-governmental organizations from across the country, all working for the same goal, which is to redesign products and packaging and public policy in such a way as to reduce waste at the source and prevent it from ever having to be recycled or having to go into the waste stream. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Andrew. Great.